And once again, we welcome in this morning Jason Maurer, the Financial Aid Coordinator from Kent State Tusc. Hey, Jason, good morning.
Good morning, Brad. Thanks for having me on.
Good to talk to you. It's good to talk to somebody who understands financials. You're the Financial Aid Coordinator and, more importantly, understands FAFSA because it sends chills down some people's back, but you're good with it. So
Absolutely.
Explain to us a little bit about what that stands for. What is FAFSA and what can students and their parents prepare to do with this and to get some money?
Sure, absolutely. So FAFSA is the application the Department of Education publishes that allows students to complete to determine their eligibility for grants, student loans, federal work study, but also can be a guide for institutional aid as well. FAFSA stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. So the application does not have any cost to complete. And really, I kind of look at it as one of the biggest pieces to the puzzle when it comes to making that decision about going to college.
Sure.
Very important to lay a foundation of what sort of resources you have access to, and it usually starts with this application.
All right, and is that at a certain time of the year, or can you dive into this at any point?
Well, actually, it's the year that we just opened up for, the application just opened up for, is the 2021/2022 year. So that's the next academic year that either starts next summer or fall, depending on the institution that you're attending. Mm-hmm. So we have just begun the FAFSA filing season in October, which is earlier than it used to be. About 5 or 6 years ago, the Department of Education made the choice to open that application up earlier to be able to give families the opportunity to file and get a better idea of what access they have to aid, because a lot of times seniors in high school are making their decision in the fall about where they're going. So now they have the opportunity to get more of an idea or get a clearer picture on what sort of aid they're eligible for.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea to give that sort of time. So what is the process like? Maybe you can step us through us, because a lot of people believe this to be a complicated web of like a tangled fishing line, but obviously it's not quite that bad, is it?
No, it is not, and that's a great way to describe it. I mean, the Department of Ed has done a good job of trying to streamline and sort of simplify the application over the years, but the best thing to be able to do is get prepared for it. There are some steps that you can take in order to make that process a little less stressful. There are some items that you want to make sure that you gather. I encourage families to make sure if they're ready to sit down and complete the application, we want to gather our records. Okay, we want to make sure that we've got, our Social Security numbers for both the students and the parent, if it's a dependent student. We also want to make sure we've got the student's driver's license. We want to make sure that we have our tax records for both student and parents from 2019 for this particular FAFSA. Mm-hmm. We also want to gather records of any untaxed income, and we also want to have records of our assets. There are a couple asset questions on the FAFSA, and then a list of the schools that you're looking or thinking about attending. You can add up to 10 schools on the application, so if you're thinking about maybe attending a number of different institutions, you want to make sure that you provide the school's information on the FAFSA. And then you want to make sure that you decide how you're going to complete the app. There are a couple different ways the Department of Ed gives you to complete the application. The easiest, at least in my opinion, is to do it online at studentaid.gov. Or you can actually, they've got an app for it, My Student Aid app. You can actually complete the application on your phone. Or there is still a paper application that you can print off from studentaid.gov. So those are kind of the three options for you.
Right. Now, in listing those schools, understood, you're not committing to anything or actually applying to those schools. You're just thinking about going there, right?
That's absolutely correct. So in order for a school to be able to put together an offer for you, they have to have your FAFSA information. So they have to have that data to determine your eligibility. So no, by no way, shape, or form are you committing to that institution. You're just sharing that info so that way they can look and determine what aid you're going to qualify for.
All right. So once you've gone through all this and the schools take a look at that, where are we then? Just considering offers, and where do we go from there?
Sure. So once the school has that information, they're going to then prepare what we call is an award letter. that then they send or mail to the student that then you can use to compare and contrast with the other schools that you're thinking about attending as well. So that way it gives you the option to sit down and look and see. Now, every institution may follow a little bit of a different timeline as far as when they begin that process. So it's really important that you know as far as what the institution's process is like, when they're going to begin awarding or sending their award letters. Also good to know if they have any sort of deadlines that you have to meet. A lot of institutions will follow what we call as a priority processing deadline, where there are certain resources they sort of run out of over time and they award it first come, first serve. So again, more incentive to file the FAFSA as early as possible, get it to your college, so that way you get what we call as maximum consideration.
Now, does this last for 1 year? Because from year to year, I know finances can change. People can become unemployed, or I don't know. Maybe you strike an oil well in your backyard and you come in
Sure.
a lot of money, and it would change. So, is this
Right.
a yearly thing?
So the application is annual. So if we're planning on using financial aid from 1 year to the next, we have to make sure that we file the FAFSA each year. However, if you do have something or a situation where your family's finances do change, we know things have been very hectic this year, and a lot has come of, due to the pandemic with job loss and things of that nature. There are processes that institutions have where we can apply or appeal what the Department of Ed requires, which is income from 2 years prior, which we all know a lot can change in 2 years,
Yes.
but they do give us the opportunity to appeal what we call our special circumstances to show that, this occurred, it was out of our control. Our family's financial situation is different, so we need to relook at that information and see if that helps our situation. So they do give you the chance to be able to appeal that.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully that gets taken care of. Well, again, that doesn't sound as scary as Halloween, so I think
it is
it's able to be handled.
You.
And once you've been through it once, then the next time, I'm sure, seems a lot more smooth, does it not?
Absolutely. I tell students all the time, we maybe need to help you the first time, but the second time you're going to feel like a pro, because there's not a whole lot so far that changes from 1 year to the next. And honestly, there's discussion from the Department of Ed of even simplifying the FAFSA more than they already have. So absolutely, once you go through it, get your feet wet a little bit, and the next go round is much easier.
Jason, that's good information. Where do we go again to contact you or Kent State Tusc about financial aid information?
Sure. I mean, you can go to our website, www.kent.edu/Tusc, and there is a financial aid page. Or you can always reach me at the campus or email me if you need some guidance or some assistance filing a FAFSA. If this is your first time, we'd be more than happy to help. You can always reach me via email, which is jmaurger13@kent.edu.
All right. That sounds pretty easy. Jason, thank you so much for being on this morning. I appreciate the help.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me on, Brad.
All right.
Take care.
It's our pleasure. That is Jason Maurer, who is the financial aid coordinator at Kent State Tusc on today's 8:30 High Beam Tusc Talks.